I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And for all of you who celebrate, Merry Christmas. And today's topic, wow, I forgot. Um, I forgot, but I'll remember. But before we get started, let's just take a minute to get settled in. So let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. Imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding your lungs, flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing all your cells, all your organs, and bringing vital life energy throughout your body. And as you exhale, exhale any toxins, any stress, any tension. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. This time, imagine sparkling white light lighting you up and energizing and electrifying all your molecules and your electrons and bringing incredible energy and vitality into your body and being and beyond. And as you exhale, exhale any remaining toxins, any remaining tension. And now let's just gently press our palms together. Softly, softly, softly rub your fingers against your palms and feel how delicious it is to have that sensation and put your attention on it. And let's just bring ourselves present right here, right now. So today's topic is a Christmas carol, actually, and as a cautionary tale. And we get to look at how Scrooge, by looking into the future, by having this visitation and a vision of his future, to be able to see what the results were of his life, he was inspired to make radical, massive change in his way of being in the world. And consequently, he lived a richer life, and was more contributory to others, and certainly found greater happiness and joy in himself. And I think that this is a wonderful, wonderful time and opportunity for all of us to take a look at what the trajectory of our lives will be if we just continue along the path that we're going. And the other day I spoke about the Dickens process, which really was about using using uh, this dynamic of imagining your future if you were to continue along the path that you're going, and to see what that life would be like for you. And I want to take this opportunity to dig into that a bit. If you just take a moment to settle into yourself and be present to the resentments that you might be holding. Take a look at the anger that you might be holding, the grudges, the the sense of victimhood. Good morning, Rosalind. Merry Christmas. So glad to have you here. I didn't know if anybody would be joining me this morning, but I figured let's go for it. We're talking about the Christmas Carol and the opportunity to use that story and use that dynamic to transform our lives right here, right now. So, in looking at the anger that you hold and the resentment that you hold and the feelings of victimization or the feelings of inadequacy, the feelings of um, of disappointment, all of these. Irma too. Wow, happy Christmas! So good to have you here. Um, we're talking about the Christmas Carol, and so let's use this opportunity to dig in and become present to all these patterns in ourselves that we're holding. And I just want you to touch in to that. I'm not going to say hello to people until after we go through this process a little bit, because I don't want to interrupt it. So, if you allow yourself to become present to your negativities that we're holding, to the pain, to the blame, to the guilt and the shame and the resentment and the inadequacy and the regrets. And if you allow yourself to be present to it for a moment and imagine with all these deep hurts and upsets, what is it going to be like if you carry this forward into the coming year? I'd like you to just be present to that and and feel what it feels like to be in the same place with all these challenges and negative feelings in a year from now. And now what happens if you take that projection with these feelings and these resentments and these hurts and guilt and shame and self-blame and blame of others, and we carry that into the next 5 years without change? And just imagine how that will feel. How does it feel in your body to carry that forward? How does it feel? Like, what's happening with your shoulders and your posture and your heart to carry these feelings forward into the next 5 years? And what's your health like? And what are your relationships like carrying this forward? And the thing about this is that if you allow yourself to feel the depth of that, then we're going to be able to make more radical change, because what you're doing now is you are giving yourself motivation to make the changes that you so desire in your life. And so with these feelings of regret and guilt and shame and rage and anger and victimization and insecurity, and carrying them forward into the next 5 years, carry them forward to the next 10 years and imagine what that's going to be like. What's your health going to be like? What is are your relationships going to be? What kind of impact are you making in the world carrying all these burdens? And who are you being in your family, with your friends, in the world, with your vision? Who are you being? And now, if you're still alive beyond 10 years, what does 15 years forward look like as you carry all these deep wounds forward with you into the next 15 years? What does it look like? Who are you being in the world? And 20 years, if you're still here, what does that feel like? And what have you done in the world? What have you done to yourselves? What have you done to the people that you are in contact with in your life? If you carry all these guilt and shame and blame and pain forward, and if you allow yourselves to really feel the impact of this, of holding on to all of these things that are limiting you and limiting your expression in the world and limiting the way that you interact with others and the way that you are not following your heart and your dreams, what does it feel like? It's devastating. And if you allow yourself to really feel it, then you can really feel the necessity to make a change. And I want you to allow yourself right here, right now, to come back to this moment of pure possibility, of pure opportunity, and allow yourself the freedom to make a change, to let go of these patterns that have held you bound, that have presented this very bleak future for you, the future of pain, and to choose to free yourself right now, to say, I'm going to let go of that resentment. I'm letting go of that guilt. I'm choosing life. I'm choosing to be expressed. I'm choosing now, right now, so that my next year, my next 5 years, my next 15 and 20 and 25 years, however many more years you have available to you, I'm choosing now. Choose now to make these changes and allow yourselves to have the life that you dream of, because the cost of not letting go, the cost of holding on to all of this negativity and disruption and despair is your life. Really truly recognize that that is the cost, and allow yourselves to make a choice for life. And today is a day of resurrection, right? Traditionally. So this is an opportunity for you to resurrect yourself, to come into the full expression and beauty that you came here to express. And I want to welcome Angel, welcome, and Dido, so glad to have you here. And this Rosalind says powerful. Yes, this is if you want to practice this again, if you want to really, really, really take the opportunity to get the power of this process, it's called the Dickens process. And I believe you could find it online, but you get the gist, is to be presencing yourself to your current situation, your current unhappiness, your current complaints, and carry that forward. You can carry it even up to your death and look back at your life and see what was this life lived without relieving yourself of these burdens that we manufacture for ourselves. And it is life altering. It is the thing that gave me the courage. Thank you, Angel. Angel says powerful, and really feel what you say. Yes, this is a life altering opportunity that we can construct for ourselves in any moment. And I can tell you that it was doing that process without without uh, for not following my vision, seeing that before I chose my vision and my mission in life, before I really stepped into that, I was miserable. And when I did that process, I wasn't even alive 15 years from that time. I wasn't alive 10 years from that time, because I was in such pain that I couldn't allow myself to continue beyond that. And realizing that staying the course that I was on in my life was really going to be my undoing was what gave me the courage to say, I'm going to take this on. I'm going to do my vision. And if I die trying, at least I lived in the process of pursuing it. Angel says, it's so important what you say. This is what many need to hear. We need to get it. Yeah, we do. And you know what, Angel, and everybody listening, what happens is we don't create the urgency. So what this process, this Dickens process does. Welcome, John. So glad to have you here. What this Dickens process does is it makes us immediately present to the urgency to change. Because otherwise, what happens is that year goes by, those 5 years go by, those 10 years, those 20 years go by, and we don't make the change and we don't embrace it because we don't have the urgency. And the question that I have for you is, if not now, when? So now is the moment. Now is the moment, coming into a new year, We have the opportunity. Let's take this day of resurrection to resurrect ourselves, to come into our bigger and brighter expression. It's urgent. It's urgent not only for you and for the quality of your own life, but it's urgent for the world. We have big things to do together in order to make the corrections in the direction that we're going as a human family that are essential to not ensure not only survival, which is at stake, but also our thriving. And when we take on our passion and our purpose, and when we choose our higher expression, then we have the capacity to make a difference in the world. And Angel says, we seek the beauty of the divine, that it is the beauty, the road is the beauty of the divine. So it's wonderful that you speak that, Angel. What I believe that beauty is the path to the divine, and to an experience of awe and bliss. By experiencing beauty, we experience awe and wonder, and that gets us to the place of connection with the divine. So thank you for that. And Irma says, I see the urgency. And then how do I make the click to make a radical change and be reborn now? Well, when you realize the cost of the choice of continuing with what you're continuing, when you recognize what you're doing, or to continue things, you make a different choice because the cost is just too high. What is the cost of staying in that place of um, self uh, lack of self-esteem, or lack of um, self-worth? What is the cost of that? And so really what the answer to your question is, Irma, is to experience this process so deeply. When I did it, it was with hundreds of people, and there was wailing in the room. People were experiencing such deep pain and despair, and to such an extreme. It was like to really deeply embody the cost of continuing along the path that we're on, and realizing that it is a choice between life and death, essentially. That when you get to that extreme, then the choice becomes an obvious choice. It's like Scrooge saw with such power his life and the wasteland that his life had been, that when he came back, he realized that he could just choose differently. And it is that emotional power that enables us to make that transition. It means allowing yourself to truly experience the excruciating pain of continuing the way things are. And that becomes the motivator to do and be different, that it just does. Grace Isis, welcome. So wonderful to have you here. Grace Isis says, thank you. We are all fearful of listening to the message from within to embrace the moments. If not now, then when? Exactly. So the thing is to create this profound urgency. And Angel says, the angels are truly there for us no matter how we move in our path. It's true. It's true. And we can be our own angels. I know that this is a scary, scary exercise because it means going deep into the despair and the pain. But unfortunately, despair and pain happen to be one of the most powerful motivators for change. And so if you allow yourself to really truly experience it, you will have a cathartic moment of change. And Grace Isis says, your soul knows the way. Trust and have faith. Then the tools will be given, just as you are hearing right now on this connection. Thank you, Grace Isis. It's true. We set the intention and we make that choice in the face of our fear. So the pain overcomes the fear of change. You know, the pain of not changing overcomes the fear of changing. That if we allow ourselves to truly experience it and to know that at the end of this process is catharsis. Now, when we experienced it, we weren't told that there was redemption and rebirth at the end. And some people left the room because the despair was so deep that they didn't even allow themselves to come to the place of catharsis. But the thing is, it's available to us. And if you allow yourself to engage in this and make it real, then you will be giving yourself that cathartic moment. So Angel says the best is the experience of pain transformed to love. And pain, the pain of this exercise will transcend the fear of change. And because your mind and your being can only tolerate so much pain before it says, oh my gosh, here's an easier way. And unfortunately, what happens is so many of us, instead of making change, go numb. If you allow yourself not to go numb, if you allow yourself to really feel what you're feeling, feel the consequence of all of these limiting patterns, then you will change, just because that's the best choice. That's like the only choice. It's like change or die when you allow yourself to experience it to that degree. And Grace Isis says, thank you, dear soul. And we are the angel of self. Exactly. We are our own angels. There may be other angels, but we can be our greatest angel. And this process is so profound and so life altering. So Angel says the fallen angels transform and come back to themselves. Yes, so we get to shed so many of these human burdens, right? These very human practices of self-destruction. And when we continue in guilt and shame and blame and anger and rage and pity and self-destruction, lack of self-esteem, lack of self-worth, self-denigration, it truly is self-destructive. And this process highlights that. It shows us really vividly in an deeply experiential level how profound the cost is of these behaviors. And we get to choose differently. So Angel says, my motivation is to heal and be grateful and be awake. And so I'm with you, Angel. I think for me, my greatest intention is to awaken. And one of the ways to that outcome, I believe, is to be shedding the beliefs and identities and patterns and behaviors that keep us bound and limited. And when we recognize the cost of holding on to these things as truths, when in fact they're just manufactured constructs, when we hold on to these things as truths, they destroy us. And consequently, we destroy others around us with those things. So I saw this as one of the biggest gifts that I might be able to give in this holiday season is this gift of transformation that we can manufacture for ourselves. And here's the truth. All of it, we make it all up. We make it all up. And I'm saying that's my truth. That's what the working hypothesis that I'm going with is we make it all up. So we can make up a story that tortures us all our lives, or stories that torture us. We can transform and transmute them. We can make up a story like the Christmas Carol for ourselves, the Dickens process, and we can use that story to incite us to change. And Angel says, yes, I'm here for my ancestors to heal the past. I love that you said that, Angel, because my understanding is that as we heal through the past and the future, both through generations, because we carry the knowing of all of humanity. We carry the knowing of our ancestors, both past and future. And we carry our knowing into their awareness or their existence. And as we transform not only ourselves, but the world. And so many of us have come here at this specific time on the planet to heal the human family, and to reconnect us with nature, and to reconnect us with life as a vital force in and of itself, as its own intelligence. And so let's fulfill that mission by bringing ourselves to our own highest expression. And let's let go of making these conversations about our limitations and our inadequacy. Let's transform them. So when you recognize that you're having one of these conversations with yourself, telling yourself, am I worthy? Even asking yourself questions like, am I worthy? Or is it really okay for me to follow my passion? Or is it okay for me to feel joy? Is it okay for me to stop punishing myself? Whatever these questions and conversations are that you're having in your head, convert them. When you hear yourself beating yourself up, find a way, another conversation that acknowledges you for your strengths and for your contribution and for your essence and for who you are. Find the conversation that is an empowering one, that is loving and nurturing and compassionate to yourselves. And Angel says, I'm here for my ancestors to heal the past so my kids' prayers can be heard. That's beautiful. I believe that our prayers first need to be heard by ourselves, that we get to be our angels and grant ourselves our prayers in so many ways. And if there is this challenge of worthiness, know first off, or allow yourselves to entertain and be present to, I am breathing and therefore I am worthy, just by virtue of the fact that I am here. I am worthy, I am sufficient, I am complete, I am whole. Even if you feel broken for so many years, I can tell you, I defined myself as broken. What if in that feeling of brokenness, there is a wholeness and perfection, and that feeling or experience of brokenness is your pathway to a deeper and richer wholeness? What if you can look at whatever you're calling broken and see it as whole and complete, not different, just even in that despair, to allow yourselves to imagine that that is an expression also of your wholeness. And the fact that you are able to witness yourself and judge yourself as broken or less than or incomplete, the fact that you are able to be in what I call this meta position, looking at yourself and judging yourself. Who is this judge? This judge is coming from a place of wholeness. You know, that judgment is twisted or angled, or it, but there is another level up that you can say, oh my gosh, I'm judging myself. Who is it that's saying, oh my gosh, I'm judging myself? Each of those levels is bringing you closer to the wholeness that you are, and recognizing that there's a part of me that's judging myself. It's not the whole part of you. It's not the whole of you. It's a part of you that's judging yourself. And so the part that recognizes that part that's judging, that's whole. And that's who you are. That's who you are. You're not the judgment. You're not the one that's being judged. You are the one that is seeing this whole dynamic. That's who you are. The other things are constructs and manifestations. You are the consciousness that is driving and observing all of it, and experiencing all of it, and more than we even recognize. And Angel says, with every breath we live. Exactly. Exactly. With every breath, we are presence, and we get to like observe. Isn't that interesting? Oh, how cute. I'm judging myself again, you know? Or, oh, how cute. There's that judgment part making a lot of noise again. It's not like we have to believe it, because we're more than that. Our consciousness is more than that. Our consciousness is more than any of our identities. And I say identities plural because we have a multitude of them that we project into the world. And so we get to be the angels for ourselves. We get to orchestrate our lives in so many ways, and this rising to the meta level that sees the dynamic can just say, oh, how cute. There's that part of me that's getting all angry again. There's that part of me that's getting all judgy. There's that part of me that's loving. There's that part of me that is engaged with life. There's that part of me that's joyful and playful. We get to see all of that. John says, I thank you. I needed to hear this. Love and light. I'm so glad. I'm so glad, because the greatest gift you can give yourself and the people in your life and the world, the greatest gift that you can give yourself on any day, but on Christmas Day also, is to be in your authentic expression, to be allowing yourself the freedom of being your authentic voice, your authentic soul, your being the earth angel that you are. And so I hope that you receive that from me and from yourself today. Please give that to yourself. And by virtue of giving it to yourself, you will be giving it to those that you love and to the world. Andrea says, Mira, you are such a gift. Thank you for sharing yourself and knowledge with us. Merry Christmas and have a blessed New Year. Andrea, thank you so much. You guys are such a gift to me. You know, to be able to have this time to engage with you is such a gift. And Irma says, thank you for the present of you and the encouragement to be me. Yes, Irma, thank you for the present of you. And you are a gift, all of you. You are all gifts to the world. And so the greatest gift that you can give is to be you, truly, truly. And so with that, let's be generous today. Let's give ourselves to the world. Let's express ourselves today and our highest presence here. Let's be who we came here to be. And so I'm going to wrap up and say thank you so much for the gift that you've given me by participating here with me this morning. I wish you a blessed holiday if you celebrate. And if you don't, I wish you a blessed day. And please, whoever you are, wherever you are, give yourself the gift of the expression you came here to express. Dido says, thank you, Mira. I love each and every show. You are such a gift, Dido. So I thank you and I love you. And I so appreciate that you spend this time with me, for all of you. And I wish you a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I will see you next week. Lots and lots of love. I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection, and I go live each weekday morning on the Enlightened World Network. And please, please check out the other wonderful, wonderful programming on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page. So until next time, be you and be the gift that you are. Much love.